Jim Chalmers has just messed with the cheat codes of Australian wealth, negative gearing and capital gains tax. These are massive changes for basically anyone trying to build an asset base right now. I've read all the fine print so you don't have to. Here's the quick breakdown on what matters. So number one is that negative gearing is going to be restricted to new builds only. What does this even mean? So gearing is borrowing money to invest. Negative gearing means that when you do that, your costs outweigh the income. So in property, the mortgage and the other costs outweigh the rent coming in. And that means that you're making a loss, an income loss that you can claim at the moment against other income, including property income. However, from July 2027, that means your loss is no longer claimable against other income like your earnings, your salary and so forth. So it does make it more challenging to get benefit out of property if it's not paying for itself. So what the government wants us to do here is build new properties rather than trade existing ones. That's going to be the challenge. The good news is that existing properties are grandfathered. So you can still use anything you already owned before budget night, can still be negatively geared as it has been well into the future up until that property is sold. So moving forward from budget night onwards, if you don't buy a new property, you won't be able to negatively gear it. You'll only be able to do that if you buy something brand new. Number two is a big capital gains tax overhaul. So from July 2027, you will no longer be able to use the old faithful 50% discount on capital gains. Your gain will now be assessed on an inflation rate, and they'll look at when you bought it, they'll apply inflation to it, and then there'll be a minimum of the 30% tax applicable. So does this mean you have to go out and sell everything as soon as possible? Absolutely not. Your gains are still assessed at the 50% gain for anything you've held up until now and up until July 27. It'll just be a slightly different approach from then onwards. Now, is that a bad thing? Look, it might affect you a little bit. You might pay a little bit more tax on the sale in the long term, but don't forget wealth, building, property and shares. This is the long term. This is your 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan. And so there are a lot of other moving pieces that need to be considered when it comes to, is selling at the moment the right thing to do? So just to be clear, this does not mean you're going out to sell everything before 2027. You're already sitting on a gold mine. If you've made great gains, it's already protected. You've got the golden ticket of the 50% discount that applies right through this time. It's only beyond 27 that the tax changes, but don't forget tax is only applicable to you making money. So if you've made great money, yes, you might pay a little bit more tax on what you get out of it after 2027, but there are a few more moving pieces in terms of whether you sell or not. So don't just jump at shadows, talk to us before you do anything. So the next is family trust or discretionary trust. Now, this is a common structure for a lot of self-employed people or people holding a heap of assets, really high earners as well, potentially. And trusts have historically been used to distribute income among lower income earners, other beneficiaries. It might be other family members, maybe it's self-sufficient retiree parents, that type of thing, or younger kids. And it's been used to distribute your profit from business or profit from investments at lower tax rates than you would have to pay personally. The government sees this, and what they're doing about it, unfortunately now for you, is that they're going to say every trust distribution is taxed at 30%. Now, the good news here is you don't have to race out and freak out about this right now. There's no changes coming until 2028. And so we do need to start aggressively reviewing trust strategies if that's something we're working on you with at the moment. Over the next 12 months, we'll be in touch if that's relevant for you. The final point is a bit of a sugar hit for everyone. For those of you with the shoebox, keeping those old faded receipts, we now all get an automatic $1,000 deduction on work-related expenses. And so think about that as the travel, the food, anything that you've built, the coffees for the business meeting, anything else that hasn't been reimbursed already by your employer. Those now up to $1,000, you don't need receipts for. So unless you're going over $1,000 in the year, you don't need to keep the receipts. Bang, it's already in the tax return, you're good to go. All right, so what's the verdict? We're all moving to Bali. Get out of here. Just kidding. The main point here is that the government is really attacking housing supply. They want us to be investing in new builds, not trading the established properties. And There's probably some question marks around some of the property strategies that have worked so well for us in the past. So lots of new thinking around how we build wealth going forward. Ultimately, no rush. None of these changes have been legislated yet. None of it is in writing. It's all talk at the moment. It's highly likely this will come into play, but it's a bit of a watch and wait at the moment. And any changes that are proposed are not coming into at least 2027. So sit tight, watch this space, and reach out if you're stuck on any of these questions, because that's what we're here for.